With me today is Jason Wenig. Jason runs the Creative Workshop down in Florida, and he and his company just debuted a 7-passenger electric touring car prototype at the New York International Auto Show just last week. And we wanted to do a follow-up from an earlier interview that we did with Jason to see how the public in New York City received the car and to find out where we go next. So, Jason, congratulations.
Thank you. Very exciting. Glad to be back.
Well, the car just looks fabulous. There's a number of photos, of course, that I've seen on the website, and there have been some in the press. It really looks great.
It was pretty exciting. Obviously, it's a hotly debated subject. I understand that, to say the very least. But from a car builder's perspective, I'm proud of the work we did. We finished it in time. We unveiled it at the auto show, which is quite exciting. And what was really great was to see people's reaction. Obviously in the media, there's a lot of energy, for better or for worse.
Right.
But the normal person, just walking up the street, just the guys working at the Javits Center, even the reporters would come aside to me and say, this car is in New York, this car is awesome. This car is great,
Yeah.
I had a photographer from one of the news outlets take me aside and say, I really do like the horses, but if this is the car that everyone's proposing, this is the car that would be the replacement, this is cool. I could do this,
Right.
And that's goosebump territory for me. That's
right.
great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's kind of bring people up who may not have seen the earlier interview that we did and who aren't from New York and don't follow the Bill de Blasio deal and the whole NYClass and Liam Neeson's. So kind of bring us up to speed. What's the sort of the background of how the car came about?
Sure. Really simply, there's a debate in New York about whether or not the horses that pull tourists through Central Park with carriages should remain. I was approached several years ago as a car builder, as a native New Yorker. What would you do about this? What would you propose? What would your ideas be to help assuage this problem as a conduit? Several years later, the idea of building a turn-of-the-century car, capturing the nostalgia, the history of the carriages, but obviously without the baggage of the horses, has become a reality. So that's in essence how it all came about. A problem, and in essence what we would do as car lovers, as cars builders, as coach builders, a solution.
Right. Now, I don't know, you've probably seen the video of the one coach builder that built what effectively is a hybrid. It's a pretty cool idea. What he did is he has his conventional carriage, sort of ornate, 18th century horse carriage. He removes the horses. He removes the drawbar. He plugs in a steering wheel, and he sits up there and he drives this thing, as an electric. That, of course, would be another approach to the problem.
Yes, I've seen several of these ideas, and creativity is wonderful. You never know where it will lead you. The problem is, and I've gotten some emails from folks as well in terms of, why don't you try this and why don't you try that? And it's not so much that they're bad ideas. It's just that, especially for a topic as hot as this, there are several criteria that have to be met. And many of these ideas don't even come, with all due respect, they don't come close to solving all of the problems. In its own right, interesting, but range and capacity and road legality and safety and even authenticity. Yes, you're taking that carriage, but as soon as you stick that billet or Chevy Nova steering column in there, it removes you from that transportation.
Yeah.
Our idea behind the car is to fully immerse people in a real car. With all due respect to all the wonderful amusement parks out there, if you want to go to an amusement park to go for a amusement park ride, there's plenty of opportunities for this.
Right.
This is New York City. This is real. The horse carriages are real. What had to replace it could not cheat people from that experience. It had to further that interest. It had to expand on that interest, on that experience. And any circumvention of something real, I think, would have met with a really, really dire consequences.
Right. Well, let's talk about the operation. I mean, we'll have some photos and we'll links, obviously, to what the car looks like. I mean, again, it's gorgeous. You guys really did a great job on it. Let's talk about the operation of the car. Did you have a chance to actually test drive it in New York? Did they give you permission to drive it through Central Park? I mean, what's that experience like?
Well, the car was supposed to be finished in about June. So when we found out the opportunity behind the auto show, we accelerated everything up. Right. So admittedly, even though we've driven it, we've tested all functionality, I would not be comfortable in getting it right on the road, tough daily use just yet. It actually just arrived back from New York this morning.
Okay.
Now really start to beat it up. The car was launched statically, just like many cars at the auto show. It was for people to start to see the image, start to get a feel for it. In essence, for my client's sake, to begin that debate fresh, all new.
Right.
My experience driving the car, it's brilliant. It is incredibly easy, very light feel. I know some people think it's very large. Cars of that era were very large, but all the things we did to deliver on comfort, ease, braking, steering, it's really fun. You can't not laugh when you're in the car. So yeah. It's back for testing, and then we'll unveil it real in New York City proper. It's road legal, already approved, with a license plate on it in New York City, middle of the summer, when everybody can have a chance for a ride, for interaction, to see it in motion.
Right. Okay. So you had your static display of the vehicle at the car show went well. You had press people come up, visitors come up and share their impressions with you. What do you see now you've got the car back? What do you see you need to refine about it?
Well, it's funny. I deliberately and openly let everybody crawl all over the car. It was really fun to stand back and see, can people get in and out of it easily? Right. Are the handles in the right spot? All of these things that you're starting from scratch, you for half an inch off, and the car performed remarkably well. I saw all ages get in and out comfortably. I saw people sit up, short, tall, big, wide, narrow, and sit in the driver's seat, grab the steering wheel, their feet hit the pedals comfortably. Right. I drove it out of trailers, through meandering through the Javits Center, in between the Porsche display and the GM display, effortlessly. So certainly there were a couple of little weak points, little things, things that the horn broke when we were unrolling it from the back of the trailer. Right. But the problem is it's easy to fix. It'll never break again. Right. So what we're really doing is we're finishing a few things that we just didn't get to. The heating system, it's 50% complete. Another week it'll be done. The big thing is the convertible top, which we're partially done building. We'll finish that. Will be displayed next time with the top on. Okay. Mostly, it's the full, complete stress of the EV system to ensure that when this vehicle gets up there, it's plug and play.
Right. What kind of feedback? Did you have any chance to have any of the current carriage drivers come by and look at the car and give you any feedback? Did they say, hey, I drive a carriage and I think this is a crazy idea or whatever? Did you have a chance to hear from them? And what did your clients, NYClass, have to say?
Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, the debate has become so heated and territorial that right now, the idea of collaboration or working together to come to an amiable solution is not easy to effect. What I'm hoping, I really am, is that the car could be a neutral ground and could begin to move that direction. Again, I was brought in, although I agree with my client's initiative. I'm an animal lover, but I'm not an activist. So I believe in collaboration. I believe in trying to work these things out, and I really am trying to be a conduit in between. Can this be a viable solution? I think it's an awesome solution. Now, it's different. Yes, the horses have to go, but sensibilities change, and there's a lot of people against having these horses. But a lot of people love the nostalgia. They love the imagery, and certainly no one wants to have anyone lose their jobs, and I certainly don't want people's families to be affected. I wouldn't want that to happen to me. Right. So if we can come to a common ground and say it's going to be different, but this is a viable alternative. You're still doing tours. You're still carrying on your tradition. Yes, you can't have the horses anymore. Now, that's a very hot topic. Please, I understand that. Right. But jobs are created. You'll make more money. You're going to have help from the city. Now, the city hasn't promised that. I'm just saying that if we can all come together,
Right.
there are paths to conclusion. There are paths to making this better. And perhaps maybe at some point in the future, you know what? It's different. I still love my horses. I still wish they were here, but it's not so bad.
Right.
You know, come on in, the water's just fine. That's what we're hoping for.
Right. So do you have, once you take the car back up to New York City and have the sort of official unveiling of the operational vehicle, are you going to be able to operate? It would be interesting. I guess what I'm saying is it would be interesting to give people that option so that when they come, into Central Park, they want to take a tour through the park, they have the choice of doing either the carriage or doing the antique car. And I think that then begins to sort of, weigh what people's attitudes are. Are you going to be given that opportunity, or does the vehicle just sort of sit then in static display until you get orders to build them, or the mayor says, okay, all the horses are out by, January 2016 or something?